All right. I think we're live. Let's see. I think we're live. Let's see before we turn on this screen. I think we are live. I think we're live. Yep, now we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Smash that like button if you're here. It's been a little while since we've been live. I don't expect too many people to show up to this one, but we're going to cover the Millrose Games right now. The screen is black. Here we go. So, you're now watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and meets that are head and shoulders above the rest. And as always, we're going to cover the Millrose Games here. Obviously, the pro events, not necessarily the collegiate or the high school events and everything like that. So this one is going to be a very short live stream right now. Since I didn't really publicize it, I would imagine that nearly nobody's coming out. So let's just go through this anyway. Let's go through here. So we got let's see if we can zoom in on this a little bit better. Here we go. So we had the women's 60-meter hurdles earlier. So leading up to that, this was actually a pretty decent one. This was pretty decent. Many people were, or the announcers, they were saying, hey, Nia Ali likely is going to get it. She really wasn't in the race even from the beginning. I know they were saying, yeah, she was getting over the hurdles pretty good and technically sound, yeah, over the first three hurdles. But I think she was like third even at the first hurdle. So, yeah, things kind of settle themselves out later in the races like these. And then Devin Charlton from the Bahamas actually just started pulling away and widening up as they got to the last two hurdles. And then there you go. That's the race. 60 meters is very short, so it wasn't too much thinking here as far as watching them. As long as nobody falls over, they're kind of stuck where they are. Anna Cockrell, now on the pro scene, getting her season's best, 8 seconds flat. So it's good to see her out. We're going to see her out there in I think her better event is the 400 hurdles, but it's good to see her in the 60 because it gets her being able to handle like those hurdles coming up real quick to her. So we'll see. We'll see her in the 100 hurdles, I'm sure too. But she seems to be much, much better in the 400 hurdles. But Marshall in second, good on her, season's best, 794. Winning time for Charlton is 791. Nelvis in third, 796, then 797, and then the rest of the field right there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next event. Where are we at? Where are we at? That's the women's 60-meter hurdles. We'll go over the men's mile, even though it's not the Wanamaker mile. Austin Miller, he got a personal best, 357.89. He kind of pulled way away from the rest of the field. So that was very, very decent. If I ever get a chance to run at this, it would be good there. I don't know if the world needs me the most, man. I don't know. But shout out to you. Shout out to you, Quezzy. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming out. But yeah, smash the like button if you guys are here. Let me change something real quick, just so I can see everything. So yeah, let's go and move on to the next one. Let's go over to the shot put. We'll get to the men and women's 60 in a second. Let's go over to the shot put. They didn't really cover the shot put too much, but they didn't have too many people out there. Chase Ely, of course, Chase Ely winded up winning. There you go, 20.03 meters. He got a meet record. All right, world leading time. I forget what the FR stands for. Let's look over this. Let's hover over it and see if it tells me. Yeah, I don't know. Facility record? Yeah, there we go. Facility record. So it's the record for the actual building. So that means overall, any of the meets that they host there in New York, that's going to be a record for that. So congratulations to Chase Ely in the women's shot put, 20.03. A half a meter over everybody else. We got Sarah Mitten of Canada in second, Maggie Ewan third for the USA, and Jessica Woodard. It'll be good to see her come out and do some more meets later on in the season. So there we go, men's shot put. Ryan Krauser, he said, look, I kind of look at him like how Michael Johnson was. You know, Michael Johnson was winning so much, and then he was setting world records, and then he was like, even though I think his win streak is longer than Ryan Krauser's, but after a certain amount of time, you go after meet, world championships, Olympics, and everything like that, and you start to maybe get bored, right? So even in the interview, it was kind of like that thing coming out of him, like, hey, yeah, you know, track and field is very simple. And he kind of said it in like kind of simple. And I'm hitting it from his voice. And he's trying out new throw techniques now. Now he's ahead of everybody else. 22 is his love language right there, right? So he said he's just competing to see if he can get further, just like anybody else can. Like, hey, how far can I throw? But he said it's very simple. And that gives him something new to do. He's trying out a new throwing technique. See if that will help him. I mean, here's the definition right here, head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, he destroys and obliterates people every meet. A bad meet for him, indoor, outdoor, still getting 22 something. 22:58, world leading time, meet record, facility record right there. Joe Kovacs in second, 21:34. He's usually, the last time he got a win, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, 2019 at the World Championships outdoor. But he's always chasing his coattails. So there he is. Piperi, which won the, what was that championship last summer? That was in the Bahamas, if I'm not mistaken. Dang it, I forget the championship. Was it NACAC that they hosted in Bahamas? But he was the winner there. So 20.65. So we kind of got our hometown hero. Well, not New York, but, you know, the local hero at the smaller championship, Piperi, winning there. He got third. And then we got Ponzio. He always shows up to pretty big things. So he's in fourth. Let's see. Let's go over to the women's 60 meters. Let's switch that up in here real quick. We're going to jump around, then we're going to go to the women's 3,000, so on and so forth. Then we can come. Nah, actually, let me go over here first. Let's go over to the men's 800. Let's kind of go through these. Then I'll get to the 60, and then the Wanamaker miles and everything like that. Yeah, NACAC. There we go. So my memory does serve me well. I have not been watching a lot of these meets. Guys, I've been away. I've been trying to record a lot of the videos ahead of time. So I'll have these things done in advance. Then I just got to schedule them and then they post up. Some of the things I'll add in tiny details, like the one after this meet. I already had a video on no allows. All I got to do is then add in about 2 extra minutes of information. Subtract a little bit from there because it got outdated and then schedule that up. I've been trying to do this in advance. I got this from somebody else that I've looked at in the whole food plant-based. He kind of does this stuff 3 years in advance. Sports is not the same thing. But when you do a profile, an athletic profile, it's a little bit easier. But sports, you kind of got to be on the ball every week. And I know that's not going to be me all throughout the year. So I can at least do bios, the hidden mysteries of sprinting, of distance running, and all of that stuff. Those type of topics. If you guys like to see those once they start coming out, hey, just let me know. Then those will keep coming. But I will release videos at least when I have 1/3 of them complete. That's when they'll just start popping out. And then after that, I can do that because I'm in crypto. Hey, you know, that's doing pretty decent over there. Up and downs, you know how it is. But let's go here. The 800. We got Noah Quebec. He got the world leading mark, 144.98. That was pretty good. When he made his move about on the back straightaway, right before you got into that curve. And as another 800 runner, there's some things I can learn from watching these guys coming out here. There's some things I can learn here. So 144.98, world leading personal best. 800, I really like that. Obviously, I got a bias there. So when he made that move, that's when you're supposed to do it, not on the curve, but before the curve. It's kind of hard for somebody to answer back. So when he made that move, there was really not much Isaiah Harris could do. He could try to fend him off, which he failed to do, and then try to reel him in, but he couldn't do anything to that move by Quebec. So congratulations to him. Then we got Isaiah Harris in second. Personal best, that's really good. Congratulations to those guys. 145.64. Gonna look real good for him outdoor. Clayton Murphy, is there as always. We're gonna see when it comes out to the World Championship time, because earlier in the season it's kind of hit and miss with him. In all honesty, I like to see him. Is actually better if he's, because a lot of times he'll win on the circuit and then he'll get to these championships and then kind of blow up. But if it's kind of hit and miss with him early on, he actually does better and can medal or something like that. So it's probably better he doesn't, win or something like that, because then I don't know what it is. It's like the underdog effect with Clayton Murphy. So 146.83. Bryce Hoppel, is he injured, or maybe I missed something in the race? Because he's over here 154.43. I'm just like, wait a minute, what's going on with him back here in 7th place? But hey, somebody's got to finish back. But I'm just surprised he's close to 2 minutes like that. National record for Mexico, Tenacio. Yeah, I just slaughtered his name. Lopez, 147.41. Congratulations to him. Langford, good with him. Let's move on. Let's go to the men's 400. Men's 400, Jareem Richards from Trinidad and Tobago. He held off Noah Williams. Last week, I think they were doing a flashback here. They both got the same time, but they gave Williams the time probably because he was on the inside or something. Or maybe they had the system. They can see it. The timers know. So they made the decision. I've had to make tough decisions as a timer in things myself when the camera was really bad. And, a lot of the times the system, they got to show one spot. I think they should really make the system where you can have a space for 2 names in one spot. Because some of these races, they really do come down. And I got to tell you from the timing perspective that some of these races is like splitting hairs. But if the time ain't there, the camera ain't there, the camera ain't there. At a meet like the one they had last week, they should have cameras on both sides or a high-powered camera. But yeah, 45.84, so it was clear. He got it. He was no question about it. Bryce Detman, 46.34, decent for him. Then Cherry just didn't start the race, didn't show up. Now, what am I missing out here? Oh, this one was actually good. The women's 3,000. Then after that, we're going to go over to, oh my goodness. I think we should go to the women's 300 with that national record there. But before we get there, the national record for Alicia Monson. Congratulations to her. World leading national record and facility record. 8:25.05 for the women's 3,000. And that is an event that's run. So it's not like it's an off event, because sometimes people in the distance world, this is for the distance. Timothy the inventor, shout out to you. Now, a lot of people in the distance world, when athletes go into off events and they get records and stuff, or even in the sprint events sometimes they get off records, it's like, yeah, if the athlete isn't already getting medals behind them, they're going to be like, that doesn't count. World leading in this, they don't run it. The 3,000 is run. The 3,000 is something that gets run a lot, even if it doesn't have a place at the outdoor world championships or anything, because of 5,000. So, but it's still run often enough where it's like, hey, a time in the 3,000 that can be stacked up on somebody else. If this was a 2,000, a 1,000, then you could start saying that. But 8:25.05, that is nothing to slouch over about. And congratulations to her. I would wonder what she's gonna do in the 5,000 or the 1,500. We got to see, because that can do her really well in the 5,000. Then we got Whitney Morgan, personal best. We got a whole bunch of personal best after this. So we got Morgan, Tui, those 2 ladies, second and third. Haynes, Craney, Galvin from Mexico, 8:40.45 national record. So that's pretty good. Jennings and Fulton. We got a whole bunch of people in here, personal best and everything. Mercy Chellingat for University of Alabama was in there. She was kind of yo-yoing around the field, and then she started to fall back a little bit. So we'll see how she does for the rest of the season in college. Let's go over here. Now, let's look here. I think Abby Steiner might be solidifying herself even more with this women's 300 meters, with this national record right here. With this national record. Now, where are we at with this? Here's the record right here. Here's the world record. All right, world record. 35.45. Remember, Canara Hayes had the national record 35.71. Now look at this. 35.54. Do y'all see this world record right here? 35.45, 35.54. I mean, she is in sniffing distance of that world record. It's been a couple of these things out here today where we got that. The facility record, 35.46, Shanae Miller-Weibo. Unfortunately, she didn't get the world record when she was at it. We'll see after the baby drops and everything like that, what she'll do when she comes back. But obviously, she hasn't really been on the indoor front as much as she was in the past. So now we got a young pup on the field, Abby Steiner. So she's got some more years that she can attempt at this, but she's getting close. Shanae Miller-Weibo was the great pretender, the closest one in the past. Now there's probably more behind her. So now we got Abby Steiner up. What do y'all think about this one? 35.54. She's all-time number 3, might be 4 actually. She's all-time number 3 or 4 on that list in the women's 300. Now this event isn't really run that often either. So this one is one of those where it's like, I don't know. But because her time can compare to other people that are also good in the 400, I think this is solidifying that Abby Steiner is a strength runner coming into the 200 rather than, if she's got the speed, that's going to be good because it's going to help her 200 a lot. So she's coming in with this strength. Now this makes me think of Shericka Jackson because people were commenting about she can't beat Shericka Jackson and everything like that. And I got to say, other than Mboma, because we're going to see how that goes, because both of them, Mboma and what's the other athlete? Both of the DSD athletes last year were injured. So they didn't really get the full season. I still am like, look, if you are over this and everything, create a separate category. That's where my mind is firmly. You do not run them if the athletes do not qualify as female, right? If they're not female, they don't run in the women's event. If they are not male, they don't run in the male's event. Have a separate one. If you run them on the track at the same time, they qualify as a separate category because we're going to run into that problem eventually. Now, everybody's looking at these and saying this is just going to take until a world record is broken, right? Or too many wins happen, like what happened with athlete from South Africa. Man, why am I forgetting everybody's name today? Guys, I just finished a 50-minute run. I had to. Coach told me. Got a coach that's worked with some pretty top-name athletes. Y'all saw some of these world championships at Olympics. That's all I'll say here. So they told me to, or he told me to do that, even though I'm a speed base. So yeah, it kind of gets me sometimes when I go from runs and everything like that. I can't add math, and sometimes I forget things. Y'all help me along here. I'm having Alzheimer's, short-term memory loss or something. But we got Abby Steiner here, stacking up to other 400 athletes and pretty decent 200-meter athletes this year. Brittany Brown was trying to hold on real well, but Brittany Brown, you could tell Brown gave everything she could because her form started ricketing and racketing left and right and left and right. Let me see, did pictures pull up when you get here? No. So, but yeah, her form was going left and right and left. She started like boxing herself. That's how you know she gave everything she had and she was breaking down legitimately. It wasn't just like a mental thing where she gave out. Now, maybe if you ask her on an interview, maybe she said, I could have gave more or something. Because, you know, a lot of times athletes do feel that way. But I can tell you from that experience, giving everything you got and this literally breaking down, that's what she was doing. She was like, okay, here. Because she stayed up with her. You saw from that 200 meters all the way up into like about the last, about 50, 40 meters or something like that. She was just right there neck and neck and even slightly ahead. Brittany Brown was actually in the lead for about 20 or 30 meters or something like that on that back straightaway and into the curb. Maybe even longer. And then she just could not hold it. So I got to give Brittany Brown that one. And she just died out and broke down. So this would be good for seeing her outdoor too. Keep your eyes on Brown. because she's at least pushing herself as far as she can. Prandini was just kind of dusted as that were. Then we got Leah Anderson from Jamaica kind of in the mix. Personal best, so congratulations to her. But that national record world leading mark right there on the cusp. Right there on the cusp of that world record. I'm just going to say, I wonder if she and her coach are like, yo, you should go for this. You should try to go for this another run. Because she actually still, with her form, she actually still kind of looked relaxed. But as somebody else that runs like a relaxed form where people would be like, hey, are you trying or something? I could tell you, she had to have been trying, but she just looks like she may not have been trying. Especially compared to Brittany Brown right next to her. They said not Caster Masalingi, something like that from Namibia. Caster Semenya is who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Caster Semenya. All it takes is somebody to win, another DST athlete to win like that again. Then they're gonna change the rules. If they're gonna do it, just do it. Like just stop playing around and just do it. But yeah, this was pretty good. Let's see these splits right here to see if where I was getting that pretty good. Yeah, so again, in the lead, tried to take over the lead again and just did not have that. So let's move on. What did I say I was going to do next? Oh yeah, the women's 60. Let's go back there. Then we're going to do the women's 600. Going to go back to the men's 60. So Aaliyah Hobbs. Actually, let's kind of set this one up a little bit. Like I said, I haven't been really following all of these meets. This is literally the first meet that I saw the entire season. I normally watch a few meets or something like that, especially back at the college I went to. I might, look at a SIU, Carbondale or something like that, or check out Notre Dame where my coach winded up going, or even Coach Connie Price Smith, which used to be the head coach at SIU Carbondale, because she moved to a different college to coach at. I might follow the coaches and look at some of the meets and everything that they're doing, because they always got a good history behind them. But this season, I haven't watched a single one. I got to be honest. I've been following other sports a little bit more, and then obviously on the politics standpoint. So with this being said, with that preface here, Aaliyah Hobbs looks very good. Based on what some of the quick, like I had other tabs open trying to catch the at least races from some of the athletes from the last few meets. Aaliyah Hobbs is looking very good here. She's going to have a workout cut out for her with Mujinka Kambunji. Kambunji is probably about to dust everybody again this year at the World Indoor Championships. She's just looking well ahead of everybody else. I mean, she's just looking too good right now. I just cannot see. I'll be surprised. Last year, it seemed like a surprise, but Kambunji is coming into her own. Kambunji is coming into her own. She's always been there. She's kind of like, I'll get to Shanti Jackson in a second, actually. I didn't forget about her. Bashar Jackson's daughter. But she's kind of coming into her own, and she's kind of like Talu, except Talu hasn't necessarily taken that next step. See, Talu had 2 chances to get a gold, and she failed to lean, so she got second. And then I know she had at least one in that 100, and then the 200, it seemed like she could have had some. But she failed to lean, so she kind of gave up that chance. She had her chance in that spotlight. Who knows how different her career would have been. Sponsorships, they do different things if you get gold, even compared to silver. So if we get that, excuse me here just a second. Sorry about that. So if we get Kambunji with a head-to-head, she's not leaving Europe. So that's going to be very interesting. We need to have Hobbs and all of them fly over to face them in a head-to-head. But Hobbs in this meet, facility record, so that's good. 7.04. That's very, very good for her. Tamari Davis, personal best, 7.08. Mary Beth St. Price, 7.11 season best. Briscoe, I would have liked to see her further up, but she shows up at championships, so we'll see her as things progress, hopefully. And then we got Shanti Jackson. She just tied the, what is this, the under 16 record or the under 18 record. I got to pull that up on the other screen. But she just got that 7.16. Man, she over here tying records, if not going to break records. And this is still early, midway through the indoor season. So she still got a few more meets. She could come out here. All she got to do, this sounds easier than what it is, okay? All she has to do is get 1/1000th, and that record is hers with no other name at all. And she is tearing it up. Y'all saw at the U20 championships last summer over there in Cali, Colombia. It is very, very interesting. I think if people are paying attention, it's not even that she's even overhyped either. Because with her dad, she seems to be progressing very well. It would be a shame because, you know, sometimes people hit puberty, they hit that collegiate age, and then they just can't transition. That's when the injuries happen because they're still growing. So hopefully that doesn't mess her up and everything like that. Because some athletes, they look real good. What's her name? Candace Hill, remember? She kind of fell off a little bit. I think that was probably the trend. It's literally from youth to that. But for right now, Shanti Jackson looks like she's going to be a big danger. I would say that if anything, she would be the danger from the U.S. against the Jamaican squad. Because they got a factory over there. They got a whole army that's building up. Forget the factory. I think that sounds a certain way. Jamaica has an army at this point of individuals on the women's side. The men's side is kind of hit and miss. Jamaica has always had like a hit and miss history. We got to be honest here, because 4x1 is evidence right there, time and time again. Just like the men's 4x1 for whatever reason. But Jamaica for the individual open, 100, even more so than the 200, but still in the 200 too. Jamaica has an army, and I think Shanti Jackson, the way she's looking now, she would look to be one of the US's contenders. There's a few of them, but here's one of the contenders, and she is showing the hell up at these meets. So don't bat your eyes on her. But I just hope that she transitions from her youth up to her adult area and adult stage, you know, because once that transition happens, sometimes athletes don't show up. All right, Kenny Harrison, last place, but she's been trying to get an open here instead of doing the hurdles. So I guess she wants to get her time down, just like what Noah Lyles was doing in the 60. Y'all said y'all don't see Abby. Let me see here. They said Femke Bol just threw down in the indoors 400. The indoors 300 and 400 is going to be hers. Yeah, I think Femke Bol, didn't she just get the 300 world record? Or didn't she have some kind of record or something like that? I don't know. That might have just been the 300 hurdle world record from outdoor or something like that. But not the 300 indoor record, because unless they didn't update it on this sheet. But yeah, she might be. This would be actually pretty good. They said I don't see Abby beating Femke Bol. This would be very interesting to have a matchup if both of them have a matchup. Actually, throw us in. Let's say, and this would be my dream matchup if we're going to talk about that. So based on what Abby did there, let's see Abby. Based on who is currently in contention, because Miller Weibo obviously with a baby and everything, so she's gonna be out the picture. But if we had these current athletes, if we get a Dalilah Muhammad, even though she doesn't seem to be, you know, running firecrackers unless you put a baton in her hand. That's how it was with me. I could run in the middle of an 800, 54, 53, put me in the open. Put me in open 4, and on paper, my best one, I think, was a 57 low. And I'm just like, I never wanted to get embarrassed or something, so I never just went out. So put a baton in my hand, same thing, 53, maybe even 52 or something like that. But I could still run quicker, potentially, but put me in the open one, I don't know. I just could not do it. So the open versus the, even putting hurdles in front of some people. Obviously, Dalilah Muhammad seems to be running faster relay splits or open 400 than she can run over that, but maybe a 300 and get her some pressure on the indoor with some athletes, and maybe she'll do it. So we get Dalilah Muhammad, Abby Steiner, Femke Bol, Sydney McLaughlin. Some people might say that's too unfair, but we never know what she's going to do in the open 3 unless we put her in there, right? You never know what she's going to do, right? You never know what she's going to do. I think those athletes right there, put them all in one race. I think that would be good, because if you use more lanes than that, then it would kind of be somebody's getting shafted with those indoor, the inside lanes. So just those 4 athletes right there, put them all in one race. I think that'll be a firecracker. Maybe it has room for one more athlete, but somebody's going to get the unfair treatment with a squeezed inside lane, even on a bank track. They said Abby over Gabby outside so far. They said, come on, Tamari. She is Bree Wayne. Shout out to you. Sonia Lewis, shout out to you. Yeah, Tamari Davis. We going to see some good stuff from her, but she's got a good personal best, so that's looking good with her. I wish Briscoe was at least in that top 3, but hey, it happens. So we'll see what happens. This race was actually pretty loaded up with some pretty decent names here. Pretty decent names. We got Shanti Jackson, obviously outdoor USA champion. Oh, I'm sorry, not Shanti Jackson. Melissa Jefferson. I'm getting them mixed up. English Gardner trying to do her thing. We'll see what happens later on in the season. So let's go down here. We already covered the women's 300. We're going to get to the 60 after these few right here. So we're going to go to the women's 600. Aji Wilson, Shamir Little. When I saw Shamir Little in the race, because I didn't see any of the heat sheets or anything beforehand. When I saw her there, I was like, this is going to be very interesting, because she does run some 800s indoor. She's one of the 400 hurdlers that does 800. Some do, some don't. Okay, it's kind of hit and miss with some of them, but Shamir Little does run 800s indoor. But very interesting that she was in this 600 with Aji Wilson. And I was like, Aji doesn't really lose indoor 600s like that. And then they even said it there. They were like, the last time she lost was when she was a youth and set the youth record and everything like that, which and everything. So I'm like, okay. So I thought so. She just does not lose indoor 600s. This is why I'm like, okay, if we get her with Jimariki, with Mo, Muir, maybe even Muir, she can run herself a decent 800. So put it down in 600. She probably feel like she's sprinting actually in that 600. And then what's the name from Great Britain, her training partner? If you put them all in a race with Aji Wilson, I just wonder, because she just seems to not lose indoor 600s. It just don't happen. So very, very interesting. But so Wilson 124.85. There was no answer from Shamir Little. It's just like she eased past her, and there wasn't a change of gear. There was nothing. It wasn't a move up for even half a second. It was like she just kind of smoothed straight past her. She changed the gears and went. So Shamir Little came out in that 400, 54.25. Here it is right here at the 100-meter split right here. She came by 54.25. She just didn't have it. But this is good to see her at least pushing herself, because that'll help her over those 400s, because she needs that strength. Shamir Little falls apart when she gets there, and her form is just, I wish she would just work on the form, because that probably would help her a little bit more. But everybody got their things. Look, she is Bree Wayne. Look, I've been all over the place. I'll be in Kenya actually pretty soon, later this year. So I had to have some delays. My foot got broke. I got Achilles bursitis on both my legs, so I had to slow down on my training. Got a new coach. Almost died. I had short-term memory loss. I had got so sick for about 3 weeks. I was just like knocked out. So it was a lot of stuff that just happened recently, especially between December and January. So many things. Crypto exploded in certain ways. People were like, oh, it's about to die. I've been pretty decent, building up some things. So we got some apps coming. We got apps coming. recording content ahead of time. It's a lot of good things. This is the time where you see me quiet. I'm always doing something, even if I'm not here. Let me see. They said Adidas athletes are coming out. Adidas getting involved in the training regimen. I kind of feel a little bit different with Adidas, especially how they were treating this whole situation that happened with Kanye before he said that Nazi statement. That was just dumb. Like, he said some pretty dumb stuff, but before that, how they kind of did their white supremacy stuff on them, and just, everybody's dropping sponsorship. If I got somebody that basically stopped my company from going out of business, because Adidas was looking on the downward trajectory, they were getting their asses kicked by Under Armour and all this other stuff, and then over half my sales revenue is coming from one brand, I think I would kind of try to stand by, at least not say anything, even if I didn't agree with the person. I don't think I would have said anything. I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't have said anything. Now, here's some stuff here. Let's go here to the women's Wanamaker. Then we're going to go to the men's, and then we're going to go to the men's 60. Obviously, some people here, they're not too comfortable talking about white supremacy or stuff. Even though in these sports, including this one, sometimes some comments are said in this sport that are clear as day, or decisions made in the sport and at the Olympics that are that way. We just got to face the facts. It's all over the place. But hey, here we go. So we got the Wanamaker Mile Women's. We got Laura Muir, 420.15. So they were just straight on, bang on pace, 420 pace. They had the pace setter, which is Charlene Lipsy. I'm glad she's actually pace setting. If she can't find a way to get into the Open 8 and qualify for the championships and qualify and get a medal at the Olympics or the World Championships, this is good. She's going to be like Sawinski, Eric Sawinski, if I'm pronouncing his name right, from Iowa, where he comes out and he pace sets everything. I mean, he's been doing that for what, darn near a decade? So, yeah, Lipsy is good to get some money. Because even one of my friends, he was like, look, if all I could do is pace set and I'm still in the sport, that gets me some training and everything there. He even told me, hey, if you get in and you can do some pace setting right there, that gets you into that mode, especially even, pace the first 400 if they have pace setters like that. Because sometimes they do, depending on the event. So that'll be good. So Laura Muir, 420. They got taken out real well. Charlene Lipsy, congratulations to you, Under Armour athlete. So we got Josette Andrews. We got our music players around this new location. Y'all might hear music in the background. Andrews in second, 420.88. We got Katie Snowden, 421.19. Oh yeah, here's a quick thing with Muir's coach. It was so funny how she was announcing, and she was like, yeah, she's kind of moving. I just wonder. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure because you coaching her, right? You coaching her. You coaching her and what's her name in the 800. So it's very, very interesting. Then we got Lucia Stafford, personal best, 422.72 for Canada. So that's pretty good. Schlottenhofen, 423.94 personal best. Actually, I thought her personal best was a little faster than that, but maybe I'm thinking of her outdoor. National record for Italy, 424.54 for Visa. So that's good on all of these athletes. Let's go to the men's. Then we're gonna go over to that. Yeah, thank you, Sonia. Yeah, it was crazy. That illness was crazy. I had short-term memory loss. It was so bad. I actually got a personal assistant now. I've always needed one, but I could not remember anything for the life of me. And it comes and goes now. Nobody knew what the heck was going on. They were just telling me. I was like, all right, I'm leaving this hospital then. Y'all know how y'all treat black people here. I don't trust this stuff. So I'm getting out. Y'all don't know what it is? All right, I'm not sitting in here. That's what it was. I said, y'all don't know what it is? Great, I'll go to a specialist if it lasts over a month or so. It didn't, which is good. But yeah, it was crazy. Now, here we go. Y'all know that the world record, man, this gave me chills when I saw this race. Y'all know the world record is right there. Okay, y'all know the world record by Kejelcha of Ethiopia, 347.01, set in 2019. All right. Now I'm kind of like, dang, Bernard Lagat's record got taken down. Bernard Lagat's meat record got taken down. But hey, you know what? Hey, things got to go. But we got Nagus national record, world leading facility record, 347.38. We got several athletes this meet right here at the Millrose Games. I think this brings the profile of this meet up, that are in sniffing distance of world records. He's 0.37 away from tying it and 0.38 from breaking that world record. 347 flat. And they were saying it. Look, they got the Nagoose, what is that? Hoare and Tanner? I think, are they all in the same group, the running group or something like that? No, I'm getting it wrong. Is it Hoare and then Romo or something like that? Are they in the same group? But don't they got that, like they got a YouTube channel or something like that? Whatever it is, these athletes that were there, I think they got 1, 3, and 4 actually. But the athletes, they were hyping it up. They're like, look, we all can break 350. And I mean, they're right there. At least one broke 350. 347.38. Y'all do not. That is a good outdoor time, y'all. That's a good outdoor time. Because the world record for the mile is 343.13. That's a good outdoor time. Running a 348, 349 is decent at a. I've seen that so many times at the Prefontaine meet. So yeah, that's a good outdoor time. And I just wonder, is Allen Webb's 346 and change gonna be broken outdoor? And he's got a lot of time to goose. So congratulations to him. Personal best for Gorley, 349.46. Hoare national record for Australia. Personal 350.83. Personal best for Tanner, 351.70 national record for Spain. For Romo, 351.79, so on and so forth. Now let's go over to oh yeah, shout out to like I said, we got the pace setter Eric Sawinski. Man, this dude, I said Sawinski earlier, I think. My mistake, Eric. My mistake. I'm not sure if you watch my channel, but my mistake. Eric Sawinski, congratulations to you, man. You're at basically, you are the dude. When the announcer said the best person to be pacing these races is you, I am telling you, this man is at everything pacing these things out. He's getting a check. He's out here doing it. If he can't necessarily make it to the championships, this guy is always pacing them up 800, 1,000, or something like that. Pacing them up to the 800, the 1,000, or whatever like that. So Eric Sawinski, shout out to you. Elliot kept saying, shout out. Wait a minute, you weren't the pace setter, I don't think. Yeah, he actually got tripped up and then he just stopped running. That's what it was. So not shout out to him. Unfortunately, he got tripped up. But Sawinski, shout out to you. Always like to shout out the pace setters. They don't really get too much shine. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Interesting. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Was this really, were they really, I don't know. Did we got the finish? They said, oh my goodness. Yeah, let me go back to this before I get to the 60. Timothy the Inventor said, oh my goodness, 347.3 in the mile. That's so close to the indoor world record. Everyone sub 4. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, now getting to the 60. What? I thought, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing, aren't I? Yeah. Here we go. Because at first, okay, they did take out no allows. Because I thought I was looking at the wrong thing. I thought I saw Lyles right here. I didn't look at the first name. I'm like, didn't he get a 653? But yeah, I guess they DQ'd him anyway. So he had a 653. He did twitch. I saw it. It was clear as day that he twitched. Now, I think they had it. It wasn't a visual thing. Didn't they do it by the computer system? Don't they do these things by the computer system? I don't know if I agree with that. Like, if you go by twitching, like, just, I guess that's how it is. The technology advances or whatever. But to me, it's like, I don't care if a person twitches. I've seen so many people twitch in certain things. Like, my body's getting ready to twitch when I go to a line too. I see other people twitching and whatnot. I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen Justin Gatlin twitch. I've seen Shelly Ann Fraser Price twitch. Most of the time I've seen twitching, they actually go backwards. I've seen that a lot in the 60 and in the 100. I've seen it less in the 200, but I think that is due to the camera isn't on every single person all the time. So I don't get to see all the lanes. Now, even live, I've seen it less. Most of the time when I've seen people Twitch, they go backwards. So I always wonder in the back of my head, are they losing some time because they go backwards then forward? And I'm like, okay. And it's not like you got to press back on the lane or on the block. It's like their whole body moves backwards. But with these new systems, I don't know. Because he did like take his foot off and then he put it back on. But that wasn't a false start. He just twitched. Yeah, he did run out of protest. They said Trey ran 6:42 in a meet that was not sanctioned. Oh yeah. Yesterday, that world lead is bogus. Yeah, so that's another thing. So if I were to eventually host up, track meets and stuff, they probably wouldn't be sanctioned by World Athletics or anything like that. Because if I do something like that, I would do a competitor meet to USATF. I don't like a lot of the stuff that they do. Not at all. I do not like what USATF does. But I understand why they do what they do. Because if they do anything too different from what they're doing, it's like they can go belly up and bankrupt just that easily. I looked at the records. They released them this year. I think I did a stream over that. If I didn't, I think I was going to do that. No, I did do a stream. It's virtually nobody watched it. People don't care about that. But yeah, even though it wasn't sanctioned, hey, a 642 is a 642, right? So as far as sanctioned ones, this is a world lead. So we got to go by what's sanctioned and what's in World Athletics, right? So we got to go within World Athletics sanctioned meets and USATF sanctioned meets, which is under World Athletics. So we go by that. So with world lead 647, Christian Coleman facility record. So there's that. He did his little thing that, either he was channeling Justin Gatlin or Noah Lyles when he did the thing or something like that. I don't know. But either way, there you go. That's very, very interesting. So congratulations to Christian Coleman. Travis Williams, he's got second after Noah Lyles was bumped up. But let me just comment on this. Forget about this thing here. Noah Lyles is actually closing in, and as far as I could tell, and they did a flashback to the meet because I was trying to have open tabs and try to watch multiple races at the same time. But didn't he beat Trayvon Bromell? And I think this is actually a good sign for him in his 100 because he said in order to get that world record, he's got to run a 9.7. And Noah Lyles is coming out here to show up and show out. That's why he ran on the protest. It ain't about, this is early season. Yeah, sure. He might have missed some prize money. Yeah, and that probably was a few $1,000s of prize money. He probably got appearance fees that was good enough, right? But he missed out on maybe what? $8,000 of prize money. That ain't nothing small either, right? Just to get second place. I'm not sure. I got to look in it. It's Continental Gold. Usually first place is like 10. Maybe it could be different at the Millrose Games and indoor. It might be different. But he missed out on the prize money. But more than that, he's proven himself. Okay, this is the second fastest time he's ever run, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah, here's that. I think his personal best is 6:51. So that's his second fastest time he's ever run. And this is decent. So he got a win over Trayvon Bromell. Now he's got up to his second fastest time. And he's going to come in this 100. He's going to come in prepped, barring injury now. Barring injury, he's going to come in his 100 prepped to really tear it up. You already got Christian Coleman. Now he's got a whole season under his belt. Let's not doubt him now. Yeah, some things happened last year. He was coming in. He thought he was going to do things. He did the thing with the return. I was all hyped up over it. I'm thinking, look, based on what I saw too, I'm like, hey, he can have it. But he wasn't able to, hold on to the end of his race. He's kind of does the, when Brianna Williams can get out, right? Or the old Shelly Ann Fraser-Price when she can get caught. If somebody's able to catch up with her, she's slowing down and people are catching it. Now she's able to hold on and strengthen up. Or Brianna Williams, I think that's closer to Christian Coleman. Sometimes Brianna Williams does get out. She's been having misfires. Before she changed coaches, now we're going to see what happens. But she'll get out, and then people will catch her. It's like, okay, she'll get out on them, and then she'll stay at some little stagnated point, and then people will catch her, and she's just being reeled back in that 100. Christian Coleman is one of those athletes. He's got to get out, and he's got to get out on people. If he don't get out. Even here, Noah Lyles was able to start clawing back into him in this 60. And that's the shortest race you got. That tells me that's a sign right there. If he can claw back to him in the 60, and he can beat a Trayvon Bromell, which kind of is comparable to Christian Coleman in some ways. Now, from last year. This year might be a whole different thing. I think this is a good sign for him getting that 9-7. What do y'all think? Yeah, you said the 100 be loaded this year. That's a good sign for him getting that. Then we got Josephus Lyles. I just wonder what his brother's going to do eventually, if he's going to find his own. Because I remember watching both of them when they went to that championship meet with them, McLaughlin, and all the other people that I'm starting to see now. It's so very interesting to see some of the youth at that Lyle meet back in 2015, I think, the U16 in Cali, Colombia. It was a youth championship. They keep renaming stuff in World Athletics so many times I get confused. Sometimes it's the youth, sometimes it's young championship, what, a U20, U18. They can't make up their mind. Then we got everybody else. Personal best though for Josephus Lyles and Travis Williams. But yeah, this is very good. But one thing I got to say, Christian Coleman is still the world record holder. So at the end of the day, world lead or not, 634, I mean, that's way, way, way ahead of everybody else, right? Way, way, way ahead of everybody else. I actually was looking forward to the meat record getting taken down from Maurice Green, but he wasn't any slouch, as you can see, and that isn't taken down. So Ronnie Baker's facility record got taken, but we'll see. Oh, Safa Powell, national record here. Huh. I wonder why they got all of these. Oh, I see. Now they put the records. This is good what they do here. They show the different countries' national records here as well. I see that they're doing something different this year. They don't always do this for USATF on the website. Maybe this is a Millrose Games one, but they show the country's national records on here. This is actually nice. But thank you all for coming out. Thank you guys for coming out. I haven't been here and up here too often, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If you guys want to see more content, definitely share this with other people. I will catch you all on another video. We're going to have some things here. We got some stuff coming up in basketball, obviously, with the whole situation, Kyrie Irving changing teams. I was going to do a video on that. We got some stuff that comes out in track and field here as far as bios and profiles of things. So if y'all